Thanks so much for joining us here on this Friday. I'm Brooke Hash. The city of Louisville has scrapped plans to build a $65 million tennis and pickleball facility at Grayson Park. Mayor Craig Greenberg said he was surprised at the amount of local pushback and acknowledged public comment sessions should have started earlier. The 25-acre project would have included a tennis and pickleball complex, a restaurant, and new parking lots, among other additions. Mayor Greenberg said the city will be looking at other locations moving forward if there is still interest.
When it was first proposed to us, I thought this was a good idea because of the history of tennis at this facility, and that, you know, what was the current condition of this part of the park. But clearly there were loud voices with lots of reasons for why this was not the right location. And so it's time to take that input and move on and find a better location.
Grayson is owned by Louisville Metro Parks and Rec. Most of the opponents there with that development were concerned about losing green space with also added noise and traffic. Right now, members of the Jefferson County School Board are talking about cell phones in schools. That's according to a policy committee meeting agenda. Back in March, Governor Andy Beshear signed House Bill 208 into law, mandating districts establish rules restricting cell phone use during school hours. There would be exemptions for medical needs and emergencies, of course. Right now, we know JCPS plans to let individual schools create their own policies, with committees of teachers and staff drafting the rules. Some, like Fern Creek, have already begun using locking pouches. Rolling those out district-wide could cost as much as $3 million. Today's meeting is happening right now at the Van Hoos Education Center off Newburgh Road. Also happening today, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is releasing hundreds of new appointments to get a driver's permit. It's happening for Saturday, May 17th, where KYTC is holding events across the state to meet the increased demand after a new law allowed 15-year-olds to get a permit. At 1 p.m. today, more than 1,500 written test appointments at 20 locations will open online for you to schedule. Have all of your required documents and information handy when signing up. You do still have to be 16 to get your driver's license. A lot of demand for that one. We'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, looking outside, beautiful blue skies into another weekend for Mother's Day. Just as blue?
Just as blue and perfect. Looking great out here, Brooke. You know, we've been really looking forward to this day. After some cloudy skies on Wednesday, some rain showers yesterday, we are now in the pretty area of the forecast. We are just going to see plenty of sunshine as we go further on into our day. Temperatures ranging into those lower 60s at the moment, and winds staying a bit variable out of the south here and there. Winds up to 7 to 10 miles per hour. And here's how temperatures are looking just outside the city. We're at 59 near Fern Creek, 62 Shepherdsville. Farther off towards our north, closer towards southern Indiana, 57 Bedford, 55 Paoli, 60 for you guys near Scottsburg, 59 Campbellsville, and 60 for you guys near Letchfield. Here's how things shaping up on satellite and radar. You'll notice those clouds that we saw earlier this morning now have made their way farther off towards the south, and we have plenty of sunshine that is going to stick around for the rest of our Friday, and that will be lasting all throughout the weekend as well. Here's how things are looking today. A perfect day for us. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the lower 70s. Very sunny, comfortable. Winds out the northeast here and there at 11 miles per hour. As we go farther on into the day, you can expect those temperatures to gradually return back into the 60s. So it will be a cooler evening for us, and we have a bit of a cooler start to our day tomorrow. Our temperatures overnight are going to be dropping into the 40s. If you're planning on headed to the Louisville Bats game, it's going to be a very nice evening. By the first pitch at 7:15 p.m., temperatures will be in the 60s. They're up against the Omaha Storm Chasers. We're going to have a full breakdown all about what you can expect for the Mother's Day weekend and also rain chances for next week coming up here in just a few short minutes.
Matt, thank you. Now to Bardstown, where Brooks Houck, the main suspect in the Crystal Rogers case, appeared in court for the first time in 10 months. The trials in this case are set to begin later this month, and attorneys are working out exactly who is qualified to testify. Our Shane McAllister and photojournalist Jessica Farley have the details from Nelson County.
It is said to be one of the most high-profile criminal trials in Kentucky history, and now it is just 6 weeks away. Today in court, we learned who could be called to testify in this trial and exactly what they could be saying.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brooks Houck, the suspected killer in the Crystal Rogers case, has been in custody for 589 days. He was arrested in September of 2023, and despite multiple requests for a lower bond, he's been held behind bars on $10 million since then. Now, with his trial fast approaching, just 6 weeks away, attorneys and the prosecutor are disagreeing on the details.
So there's not going to be any opinions on what the Nelson County Sheriff's Office work, the FBI, or KSP did.
We're going to talk about what they did.
Special Prosecutor Shane Young asked the judge for this hearing to discuss the experts Houck's team plans to use in trial, including a former homicide detective and an interrogation expert.
If he has an opinion that should be done this way, then they need to provide that opinion and the basis for the opinion.
These two experts appear to be lined up to talk about what investigators did and didn't do early on in the investigation, such as interrogation techniques and what evidence they collected and how.
For example, we talked about blood, where law enforcement would look for blood, how it's collected.
With the evidence and discovery sealed in this case, this is the first time those of us outside of the legal teams are getting a look at what could come up when Brooks Houck sits in front of a jury. One thing was made clear: one of his co-defendants will not be called to the stand.
I'm not calling Steve Lawson as a witness.
As for who is called as a witness in this case, we may have to wait until opening statements to find out. Today in court, the judge seemed to be agreeing with Houck's attorney, saying they don't need to be providing any additional expert outside of what they have already provided, but he did say he would make a final decision after the weekend. In Nelson County, I'm Shay McAllister, WHAS 11 on your side.
Now, the first trial in this case is Steve Lawson's. That trial is scheduled to begin later this month on May 27th in Warren County. Well, the owners of a plant shop in Pee Wee Valley are suspecting arson after a fire ripped through the cottage at Tingle's Plants and Produce Thursday morning. The owners said the fire killed half their plants and destroyed a number of antiques inside. You can see a person on security video right there leaving the store some 3 hours before. The owners suspect they robbed the place and are responsible for the fire.
There's too many coincidences. Yeah. Considering they came into the tent and money's missing out of the drawer, I just kind of thought one of these days I'm going to come and the door's going to be open or the window's going to be busted. I didn't think they would do that and then burn my building down.
The Tingle family is not giving up yet, especially with Mother's Day this weekend. Vicki told us she is still open and collecting money from patrons in the parking lot. The Oldham County Arson Task Force is investigating that fire.